Oh God.
Welcome back to All Sorts of Sports.
ASOS rules. We lay him down. K. James Ryan with a crown. Team's out, but the game's still light, still tight. All sorts of sport. We shine that light. Oh,
I'd rather listen to Randy Newman. Ass.
I agree.
In that ass.
All right.
ASOS hits, no tricks. K. James Ryan's picks. Team's gone, but the vibe sticks. Sports tourism real quick in the mix.
I like how Keem's gone is in there twice.
Yeah. All right. So
I read it wrong.
I
loved it.
Sorts of Sports.
All sorts of sports.
Sports in that.
Sort of episode. I don't know the number.
Don't want no short people.
All right. So
You can't tell how short I am on camera, so fuck yourself.
right.
I saw the booster.
I'm never gonna forget you walking in that damn that church tunnels that we were walking in. We were all like hunched over, and Ryan just
and I'm just walking through,
having a good old time laughing at everybody. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you can't see the booster seat I'm sitting in, but if you could. Hold on, I gotta adjust it. All right, there we are.
So I know we started off like on a light note, but want to start off by saying rest in peace to Dejan Milojevic, the Golden State Warriors assistant coach, who had a heart attack at a team dinner and sadly passed away, I believe, on Wednesday.
Yeah, super sad.
Peace, man.
So they postponed the game on Wednesday. I think they had a game Wednesday, right? This happened on Tuesday, and then he passed away on Wednesday. They postponed the game Wednesday, and then they were supposed to play again tonight. They postponed that too, and completely understood. Like, you know, for something like that sudden to happen. Ugh.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. But I'm glad that first of all, whoever it was, coaches, management, whatever, made the right decision. Obviously something that tragic happening, especially right in front of the players. Giving them time to grieve and whatnot.
Yeah.
I know the NBA is a business, and I remember when Hamlin went down, people were like, "Oh, why didn't they finish the game?" And I'm just like, "What are you talking about?" So I'm glad there wasn't even a question about this. They just went ahead and gave the players and families and everything time. So good move. Super sad though. He's really young, 46, I think.
Yep.
So
yeah,
rest in peace.
All right. So let's move on to football.
Wait, there's football going on?
Yeah. That's what. Hey, if you came here for anything other than football, just go ahead and log off. It's not. It's gonna be football this pod,
as it has been the last month.
Yeah. I know. All right. So I want to start off with a funny one. I know you guys want me to start off with AP, or I think
no.
No one wants you to start or finish.
I know you guys think I'm gonna start off with AP, but it's not gonna happen. We're starting
you and favorite for the last, bro.
I'm not gonna do what you think I'm gonna do, and
exactly
out, man.
Yep, we're gonna start off with RG3 versus Gruden.
Oh my God!
You gotta wait like another decade before like the 30 for 30 comes out. Or something like that.
Will be no 30 for 30 about these guys.
The 3 for 3.
It really should be when you think about it.
Should be a 5-minute YouTube video.
Nah, you guys had so much going on. Like they can dress it up as a team. This should be like a series, like the Jordan Bulls.
No, it's gonna be there will be one about the Snyder era, but it won't happen.
Yeah, like
but who would be the star of that?
Gruden should be like an episode.
Tom Hanks is Dan Snyder.
Nah, bro. Get John Gruden to play Jay Gruden.
No, get Jay Gruden's kid.
Oh, all right.
JJ, right? What's his kid's? Isn't it JJ? I think it is.
Gives a shit.
He's a sports gambler. Anyway, keep going.
And there's also Deuce Gruden out there.
There's Deuce.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us what happened.
They had like a Twitter spat, essentially. And I think, who was this about originally? Like
Jalen Hurts? No. Was it Dak or Jalen?
It might have.
Was it somebody else?
It might have been Dak. Well, essentially, Jay Gruden said, whoever I did this to, like, I apologize. Like, they're not helping the QB out at all. And then of course RG3 responds, and then they just go back and forth. What was the funniest part about this for you guys?
That they're both has-beens. Moving on.
Okay, Dot.
Yeah, it was Philly and Jalen Hurts. It was if I ever he was criticizing the Philadelphia coaching in the sense of them not having anybody pick up the blitz. And he basically said, "Hey, if I ever did that to one of my quarterbacks, I'm sorry." And RG3, who loves to memify himself, did the say what with him responding, and then it went back and forth. Jay Gruden's a funny motherfucker. Everybody kind of knows that he's a sarcastic prick, but he's funny.
Yeah.
RG3 is Russell Wilson before everybody realizes he's corny. Look, man, what I saw when I saw this entire stuff was, yep, that's that toxicity of Washington Redskins right there. Like, that's why you have two motherfuckers that can't take their own responsibility and why it is we sucked during that time period, because there's enough blame to go around for everybody. My favorite take on it, period, was Will Compton, who was also on the team, as now he's on Busting with the Boys. And back even then, he was my favorite guy on the team because he was funny as shit. But it's the when they had the team meeting, the butthole puckering meeting, between RG3 and Jay Gruden in front of the whole team or whatever. Look, Jay Gruden had his issues as far as being a head coach. A lot of the shit was about off the field sort of stuff. There's video evidence
about him being hammered and
hammered or smoking weed with co-eds at bars all around Loudoun County.
Thank goodness he did. Opened everybody's eyes.
Or the Capri Bibbs story, if you want to believe it or not. What's
that story?
We've talked about it. Do you not remember, or you just want me to say?
No, I don't remember.
So people remember the Capri Bibbs was a running back that Washington had during that era with Jay Gruden, and when he was the best pass blocking running back that we had on the team. And the story goes, this is all allegedly, this is according to Capri Bibbs. Capri Bibbs was seeing a woman who was in the front of, who was somewhere within the organization, probably receptionist or something. And Jay Gruden was also fooling around with the same woman and got very, very jealous and upset with Capri Bibbs. So he benched him. He benched him in the exact same game that Alex Smith almost lost his leg because we didn't have our best pass blocking running back out on the field. Allegedly. So here's the thing. If you listen to a lot of stuff and stories and the rumors that come out of Ashburn, it's not that hard to believe. It's not that hard not to believe that it happened. Once again, all alleged. But then you still have RG3, who, look, at least him and his back and forth with Will Compton, he admits that like his health had a lot to do with the reason his career wasn't the way it was, which is true. But there's also the alleged stuff when it came to him and what his dad's involvement was with talking to the Shanahans about, I'm not going to do the run pass option anymore, or his not wanting to play within the confines of the Shanahan system. Now, Jay Gruden's not a part of the Shanahan system, but Jay Gruden, you could tell from day one, didn't want to have anything to do with RG3. He much rather would have Kirk Cousins play and not RG3.
And he said as much.
Yeah, he did.
Right. So like wait.
And is he wrong?
During that period, probably not. I mean, but that's also like, but if you're a coach who has a dude that's clearly as talented at RG3, and once again, not knowing all the details on why he stopped playing the same way he did in 2012, which was awesome, right? The injury, I'm sure, had something to do with it, but maybe his lack of wanting to do things along those lines to potentially get injured again. It was just everybody, it was a shit show, man. Like there are so many people to blame through so many years of futility here in Washington, man. Like we blame everybody for fucking everything. And it's just like those guys were just, it was embarrassing. Even Brian Mitchell getting into it. Like Brian Mitchell, I love to death. But he's always been just a curmudgeon around the DC area, always complaining about every fucking body. He's the old uncle that just wants to start shit.
But you need that kind of guy.
You do. I mean, don't change, Brian.
Please never change. I'm like 2 years away. I'm right there.
It's just these dudes are just, look, RG3 is trying to make a name for himself in this whole social media space, whatever. He's doing a fairly good job, I guess, for now, even though, like I've been saying, he's one tweet away from losing it all. And Jay Gruden has been trying to get into that same space too with his Twitter humor. He's sort of been kind of forgotten, even though he was a pretty hot candidate when he got hired as far as Washington offense coordinator in Cincinnati for those years. It's just, I look at him like, fuck both of you. Like when they're blaming each other, I'm like,
it's clown 1 and clown 2.
Sort of, yeah. And
Spider-Man me, but just with clowns.
Yeah. Just, I mean, look, was RJ3 part of the cause of his own injury? Yeah.
I'm not going that far.
I mean, he didn't learn how to slide the whole season? Just learn how to slide, learn how to get out of bounds. He does what some running quarterbacks do at 250 pounds and 6'5". At 190 pounds, 6'3".
Yeah, but the injury itself wasn't because he didn't slide.
He had a cannon, but you can't leave yourself that vulnerable. And was Jay Gruden a good coach? Not really.
So yeah, he was. They all sucked.
It's two very below average guys pointing fingers at each other on Twitter. One of them is on TV now. The other one is on TV. Maybe Fox News. I don't know what he's going to be on, but it's or Fox Sports. But it's just, look, I love it that they're digging at each other, but man, is that not just a microcosm of Washington's football team during that era? Just a whole lot of
100%.
It's your fault, and nobody taking responsibility, and the team falls.
And then we just all lose. Like that's, yeah. So there's a little bit of fuck you energy to both of them, honestly. I will say RG3's story about what Jay did to him, if that's also true, in the sense of, I still remember the comments that RG3 made where it felt like he was throwing the team under the bus. And what he said was that Jay Gruden asked him explicitly to do that, to try to light a fire under the team. And at the moment that he did it, Jay refused to co-sign him and then threw him under the bus in front of the team. And RG3's like, the fuck was that? Like, if that is true, yeah, Jay, you're pretty much a piece of shit. But then other second, like, look, man, I'll tell you, there's a lot of stories about both those dudes. A lot of stuff that people don't want to say. I don't want to say on this platform is how far you go from an alleged standpoint. But there's a lot of it's the same that Will Com said. There are a lot of bodies that everybody has, and they're all buried in shallow graves.
Maybe Jay was hammered and smoking weed with co-eds. It was like, hey, Robert, I got a great idea. And he showed up the next day. He's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Bro, I tell you, my best friend on this planet went to Baylor when he was at Baylor. I got Baylor stories. There's the Trent Williams' birthday story. There's a lot of shit.
Bears. What are these stories?
And Bears. No, move.
No, I mean, we can move on.
What's the Baylor story?
There's so many. That's what he just said.
There's a lot.
All right, what's the Trent Williams birthday party story? That should be just.
You look it up. Yeah, I think it's printed somewhere.
Lions, Tigers, and Baylor Bears.
All right. So,
he's gonna do the thing you all thought he was gonna do.
No, I'm not. There were two coaches that were hired from, I think it was like the 8 or 9 different openings from head coaches in NFL. Yeah, so we can start with Gerard Mayo.
I was about to say, hold on.
Gerard Mayo.
Hey, I can tell you how to pronounce that.
Oh yeah. I didn't like that line. I really didn't. It's a black name. I got you. I'll help you out with that. Like, Brett.
Well,
I thought it was funny.
I was gonna help you out with that.
I ain't like that shit. I work in corporate, so I see that shit all the time. I don't like that shit.
Hilarious.
I think
PTSD. That's all.
Well, I think
may not mean nothing with it, but PTSD.
I think what everybody has to understand is, so my second favorite city in America is Boston, outside of Seattle. And as I've always described it, the same way that Seattle's my favorite city. Outside of the same way, I think Bill Burr was the first person to coin this, and I've been stealing it from him ever since, is that Boston, San Francisco with racism and snow. So like if you're Gerard Mayo, who's now a black coach of the New England Patriots in that area, you'd be a fool not to think that race is going to be a thing for some people. So let's get ahead of it. let's joke, but also let's know that I take this shit seriously, and I'm planting my flag right here, and I appreciated it. I appreciated what it is.
I like the planting the flag shit.
Yeah,
like 100%. The thing that I saw first was the bar, and I'm like, ugh. All right, but yeah, what do you guys think about him actually being there, and what do you think he can do with the team? I'm excited.
I have no idea. I'm gonna be fully honest with you. I had to do a full dive. And here's the thing. You're replacing one of, if not the best coach of all time. And you're coming in to a team that by all accounts is fucking terrible.
I mean, he was there already though. So he knows. He knows the squad.
Now he's in charge. What are you supposed to do? I don't know.
Build.
Right. But it's a fully.
Is the Patriots way going to be the Patriots way anymore?
So that's the reason I'm so
they can't. The Patriots way was we have Tom Brady and we're gonna fill in pieces, right? Because we have Tom Brady. You can't do that anymore. You don't what do they have that's good on that team? Special teams.
Yeah, but the Patriot way is the same way. Like you can have lame duck years or lame years, not lame duck years, just lame years with almost any organization, right? So like, but there is a fundamental understanding of the way that we do things here. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers have, there's a way that we do things here. The Baltimore Ravens, there's a way that we do things here. The Baltimore Ravens, if you want to be completely honest, their way is the Bill Belichick way. If you want to go back to what I've always said, is that everything the Ravens do as far as an organization and culture was all set up by Bill Belichick in Cleveland before they made the move. Ozzie Newsome was a Bill Belichick guy. So there's an idea of like, if you're Robert Kraft, what you understand is that for 20 something years, there's been a culture and identity with the organization, with the team, right? But there happens to be a situation. I was looking at coaches' ages, and you see what Bill's 72 years old. And when I was looking, it was like the dude was winning those Super Bowls early on. He was in his 50s. Like it was a long time ago. How many guys in their 70s could say that they're still in touch or in tune with the younger generations of players and stuff that come in? How well can they communicate it, this, that, and the other? One of the biggest issues with New England is that as time went on, these guys got old. And a lot of the dudes went on to do other things or retired or don't have the same thing, energy or whatever anymore. But there is a culture and identity that you got to kind of know. And I think that Robert Kraft understands we got to hold on to a piece of that. But what we also have to do is adapt it for what it is the new generation do. If you want to see who does that in a very good way, in my opinion, one of the best head coaching candidates is Mike Vrabel. If you look at what he did in Tennessee, it's very much I'm doing my spin on what it is that we did there in New England. And if you think about Jared Mayo and how smart he was as a player and how much was put upon him to lead that team, if you look at the linebackers in New England had a lot of responsibilities for a lot of fucking years, and they were really the tone setting guys in that locker room. Same way if you look at Baltimore, a lot of times that leadership comes from the linebacker position, right? Same look at Pittsburgh. Sometimes a lot of that leadership comes from the linebacker position. I think holding on to that is Robert Kraft understanding or realizing like, hey, we got something special here. Because he was predestined. He was anointed 2 years ago. Like this is the guy that's going to take over. I know that this is the guy that's going to take over. And it helps translate the front office, the guys that they have right now. Jared Mayo gets to spice it up. They're going to have to do a rebuild. The talent's not there. But I will say that defense, regardless of the talent level, played hard as fuck. And they kept them in some games that they had no business being in even this year. That team needs a quarterback. They need an offensive philosophy. They need a lot of shit. But there's no one that could come in there with any special sauce and just say, fuck it. You need to hold on to one thing that makes New England special, which is that they had a fairly good culture, even though that word itself has become almost toxic the last few weeks because everybody fucking saying it over and over again.
The culture. All right.
Oh, so what's that one joke? Keep going back to college because I keep getting older. Girls still stay the same age. That's how I feel like Bill Belichick felt.
That is insane.
He kept walking in every year. And he's like,
oh. James, you ever see Dazed and Confused?
No, but I heard of it.
That's yeah. All right.
Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, that's where that's from.
Okay.
So on about the high school.
I know.
I think the college show is less creepy. He's
a creep.
Yeah, I know. But also, 22-year-old Matt McConaughey looks the same.
Oh yeah,
the same guy. All right, moving on.
Gerard Mayo said in an interview that they were definitely taking a QB at 3.
Oh yeah,
I think that was probably shouldn't have said that, but we all knew it. But whatever.
No, it doesn't hurt them at all, right? Like everyone knows that they should get a quarterback at 3, right? But we also look through the top 3 of those draft and realize Chicago probably looking towards getting a quarterback. Washington, quarterback's definitely high on their list of priorities, and New England, quarterback high on the list of priorities. All that does is let anybody else in the league know that if you are going to try to get up and get one of those quarterbacks, there's going to be a price tag, buddy. So like that's him planting once again another flag in the sand saying, hey,
you need to get ahead of us.
Do you think the Pats take a quarterback at 3 or at 1?
But the thing, if you're in the top 3, that means you're walking away with either Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
You're walking away with one of those guys. So like most people would say, yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, but if you're looking for one of the 3.
But if you're New England already at 3, right?
Maybe they take one of the last picks.
I wouldn't give somebody ammunition to take what I actually want away from me. That's all I'm saying. I prefer my squad to keep.
They
wouldn't be able to.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They're not taking a wide receiver or a lineman. They're taking.
Do you know what quarterback New England wants?
No. But it's not like.
No.
But what people are what New England's saying is that we're not doing Marvin Harrison. We're not doing it. If you want a quarterback, you can't go to 4. You need to trade with us, or you need to trade both. But mostly us. But the thing is, everybody already knows if you're going to trade with the top 2 teams, like there's nothing.
I still think the Bears are trading out. By the way,
I think
okay, but there's nothing. He didn't let go of any sort of pertinent information. I think hurts him in any way. I think more than anything, what he's doing is driving up the auction block for what it is the pick is.
I think they trade down. I think they trade down to 1. I'm just saying.
Trade down to 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the Bears 3 and other picks. But that's just my thoughts.
Trade up, but
trade up. You know what I mean? The Bears.
You said the exact opposite of what you meant.
Suck my dick.
All right.
Sure, people get.
There was also another black linebacker that got a head coaching job, and that is Antonio Pierce.
You shank anybody in a parking lot yet? You gotta celebrate. You shank anybody in a parking lot yet? Now you gotta celebrate.
Don't do that.
Oh, you got the sunglasses on or anything. You look like a hoodlum.
You know me.
Are you down with OPP? Compton. Anyway, continue.
But yeah.
Not by nature.
New York. It's okay.
Jersey.
Yeah, they're from the East Coast. Yeah, I know.
All right. So the Raiders posted a video of AP walking into his office. That was kind of a play on the thing where when he became the interim head coach, Mark Davis offered him the office. He said, "Nah, I'm not going out there. I'm not going to move into the office and then leave. I'm only go in there when I'm staying, like permanently." And that's how they announced it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Marvin Lewis and Tom Coughlin are gonna be on the staff in some capacity to help him out, because he said what? Why are you laughing, K-Dot?
No, just keep going.
No, what's funny?
I don't want to get shanked. You gotta outfit him like leads me to believe I'm gonna get shanked.
All right. So
shank up.
What's so funny?
You force me. This sounds like a lot of strong personalities in one building.
I understand what you're saying, and that's cool, right? But they were there last season when he came on, and he's using them as advisors, right? So they understand that at the end of the day, like, he has the final say in certain things, but it's not like he's been around them before, so he can act like he knows them. It's not going to be like an issue.
Look, the thing is that both those guys could just want a box suite and some fucking some chips to go fucking play at the tables. That's why they're around. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying. My initial thought to laugh.
I mean, you would have seen that shit last year. if that was the case. No.
What part? As far as the ego stuff?
They were around the team, and you was like, yeah, they might get chips and shit. Like you kind of would have got a sense of that last year when they were there.
How would have I gotten a sense if those guys like to hit the casino?
You made it seem like the only reason they're there is because it's in Vegas.
And the new Fountain Blue looks fucking sick.
I want a suite. I'm not even a Raiders fan. I'll fucking take a box in that fucking stadium. Do I get tickets to the dome?
The other part of it is I want to see who
that's
we get as an offensive coordinator. Kingsbury is definitely interviewing for the OC job with the Bears, which is very concerning.
That to me would have been the best fit.
I know that's what has been reported as like what's supposed to happen. But if the Bear, like, I kind of think Kingsbury is going to go wherever Caleb goes, right? So if the Bears end up keeping the pick, Caleb's going there, and Kingsbury is going to be the OC.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bears end up trading away the pick, and the OC, like, and of course we're going to move up. And if we do, Kingsbury is going to be our OC. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's kind of the sense I got.
Is Matt Eberflus still in Chicago?
Yep.
Yeah.
Continuing on.
Yeah, but the Cliff Kingsbury thing is supposed to be like a la what Arizona was supposed to do with Kyler Murray, right? But what you decide is that Cliff Kingsbury does not have the cachet just yet to be a head coach and demand respect in that locker room, or at least prevent his quarterback from playing video games too much. So, like, the idea that he could be an offense coordinator and bring what he had. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, quarterback whisperer, right? Like, he's worked with Mahomes.
So Caleb Williams, he plays Uno. He's not a video game guy.
Right. But Cliff Kingsbury also USC, Caleb Williams. The connection's there. If Chicago pulls the trigger with Cliff Kingsbury, I think we all know what's happening.
Yeah.
Whether or not if Kingsbury's name just being involved in the Chicago thing and him being excited to just be an offense coordinator, I don't know how excited it is for most places around the NFL. Like, I look at even Washington saying that, like, hey, depending on who they hired as head coach, would I want Kingsbury in here to be our offense coordinator? Probably not. Like, I'd want him with a quarterback that he wants to work with. I just don't trust him to just do anything with anybody, I guess. So I don't know if that'll be something that anybody could really wait on, or if you'd hire Kingsbury with no guarantees that you're going to be able to move up to get Caleb if those two guys are tied together. You know what I'm saying? What you don't want to end up with is Denver and Nathaniel Hackett. Oh, we thought we were getting Rodgers. It doesn't fucking work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough. All right.
It is
Speaking of tough, Mike McCarthy is staying in Dallas.
Who's that tough for?
Yeah, really.
The fans.
The fans of
fuck them. They're stupid.
Yeah. I saw.
I don't know
a lot of,
but I'm pointing.
I saw a lot of
over here, but I don't know.
I'm down on the recording. I'm gonna be down.
What he said.
It's like Washington fans are emotional idiots. Cowboys fans are stupid.
Go on.
Raiders fans are violent. Bills fans are losers.
You're a piece of shit.
Bills fans are crazy.
Yeah, because they gotta find some form of entertainment.
Hey, why the hell y'all got them shoveling snow?
It's not. Ain't a lot of jobs out there.
No, there's a travel ban, so nobody can drive. So even employees aren't allowed to drive. And so the only people that can go to the stadium are fans that live in walking distance. They can't, like, there's a travel ban for everybody. You're not allowed to drive your car.
Yep.
So the only people
save some lives, because people would.
Yeah, they can't get employees there because that would risk the safety of the employees. So the only people that they can get there are the crazy Bills fans that live close enough to either take their snow vehicles or that can walk. And those people are there. So, I mean, it's literally like,
tell people to put on a shirt.
First of all,
I never shovel snow with like a jacket or anything else.
Yeah, because you're sweating. You're sweating hard out there.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So what do you
I'm usually rocking a sleeveless like bro shirt is what I'm doing when I'm out there shoveling stuff.
All right. So look,
you have
be a friend and tell you that's fucking stupid.
No, he's got more insulation than you do. It's all good.
Like a bear.
He's like a black bear.
Rawr.
Or a brown bear. It depends on how the lights hit it.
Brown bear.
Honest.
Brown bear. I'm dangerous. Brown bear.
Yeah, black bears just eat berries and shit. Now you're.
I'm a revenant bear. I'm gonna have liberties with Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm that kind of bear.
All right, buddy. Cool. Yeah. So I'm tired of seeing the videos of the fans out there with no shirt on, shoveling snow.
Nobody's forcing you to watch those videos. Why are you looking up Bill's stuff? So
what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you on Bill's
stuff? Yeah, right. Why are the Bills fans?
Was it you, Ryan?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, fucker. All right.
Sorry, he interrupted your Raiders algorithms.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh no, my algorithm is wide.
All right. I did a throwaway line at the fucking Buffalo Bills. What were we talking about, Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, we were.
Okay.
So shit, I forgot.
The Mike McCarthy thing. When I say the Cowboys fans are stupid, look, I get the idea of why one would want to get rid of Mike McCarthy. You see the collapses as far as in the playoffs, and you're like, okay, have we plateaued with this guy? So, like, once again, everything I say need to be taken with a grain of salt because fuck the Cowboys. Fuck them, right?
It's like me with the Chargers, Broncos, or Chiefs. I understand.
There's no more aggravating thing than the Cowboys, though. I mean, can't you admit that?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the Cowboys are the worst. Okay. So
the fans.
The Cowboys are the worst. Like, that's
my uncle's a Cowboys fan. I understand.
All right, yo. The black uncle Cowboys fan is always the worst guy.
Does he have Cowboys shit? Does he have Cowboy shit up all around his house?
He's the typical Cowboys
with a star on the back.
Yeah, he's got a.
But he's not from this area.
Where's he from? Is it Dallas?
Nah.
Okay, then what? Does he have at least one quarter zip with a Dallas star on it?
100%.
No, he does.
And I bet he's got money. He's either an old-time government employee or he's independently wealthy. He drives some fucking Cadillac with stars all over that sumbitch.
Yeah, it's Dallas and nothing.
Cowboy uncle is the worst.
He got motorcycles and he has this nice ass 300.
Oh, I was
gonna say he's got his cowboy man cave.
It's nah, he ain't got no cowboy man cave.
He got a star somewhere in that sumbitch.
He talks so much shit.
They always do. They're the worst. Every time the Cowboy
had like a
picnic, it's like, nigga, go home.
We had like a 2-hour argument. That shit was funny.
No, never argue with
them. After they lost.
Will argue with you no matter what.
Shit. You never know anything.
Anyway,
regardless,
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. So the idea that one would plateau with Mike McCarthy is like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, maybe we just need somebody else to take us over the top.
Same thing happened in Green Bay.
What?
They won.
What are you talking about?
I know, but then why'd they get rid of Mike McCarthy?
Him and Aaron weren't getting along.
Rodgers wanted him out of there.
No, I thought it was because they weren't winning shit afterwards. They wanted that one time.
But here's what you start to realize.
Later, right?
Hold on. The same thing I'm gonna call your ass out on momentarily because we get back to Mike McCarthy is what did me and Keem tell your ass? Addition by subtraction. When it came to that team implementing Jordan Love compared to Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is a problem that people don't fucking like to talk about. But regardless of all that shit, when it comes to the Cowboys, look, I'm sorry, 12 wins 3 years in a row is fucking impressive. To me, what you're looking at is how can we adjust to get right? Yeah. Dak Prescott had his best season he's ever had right now, right? And if I'm looking at it, yes, Ezekiel Elliott was not as good being the star featured running back for Dallas. But because Jerry Jones gave him that fucking contract, it felt weird regulating him to second string and the spell back, even though it's an extremely vital position to have when you have a Tony Pollard. All they need, like if I'm looking at the Cowboys, it's let's make a call to Derrick Henry. Like that to me is okay. There you go. Like if they had a running attack, a bruising power running attack in which they could be two-dimensional for a period of time in these games, everything's different. So, like, to me, it's like there is an element of, like, what Jerry Jones' responsibility is and who he pays and where certain guys are. Mike McCarthy's done a hell of a job. Yes, it is inexcusable that they collapse like this in the playoffs. But for anyone thinking this is new, you can't remember a time in the last 30 years that the Cowboys haven't showed the playoffs. Tony Romo with the bot snap.
I can remember. I can remember all of the times they have.
Right, so my thing,
and then the offseason.
So good. So like that goes to me is like it's a fabric of the it's built within the fabric of the organization. What probably happens around there is Jerry's walking around all fucking season. Yeah, make sure you win the playoffs, boys. Make sure y'all win the playoffs, boys. And these motherfuckers walking around here being like, "We come playoff time, they're human beings," and they're like, "Oh shit, oh shit."
This is the time
now.
This is the time it told us about.
They have some key injuries too.
And there you go. Like they're doing all this with Trayvon Diggs is gone.
Yeah. And then Bland became what? Was he all pro this year?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
For the last all the 3 weeks, he was getting torched.
Well, to me, if there's any coaching move that I would make, and I understand that this would not be popular because of how much everybody loves Dan Quinn. If I'm them, I hire Wink Martindale.
Yeah.
Well, Dan's gone. He's gonna leave. He's gonna get a head coaching job.
If he gets a head coaching job, yes. But the idea would be, to me, I would hire Wink Martindale. I think that I honestly do believe
Wink.
This is how high I think of this guy. I don't think they've begun to truly unlock Micah Parsons. That's how highly I think of him as a defensive player.
You know, it's funny. You see, like he's going at it with Cowboys fans now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if he leaves and then just becomes even better?
He will be. That's my whole thing. Is that that's once again, I go back to Cowboys fans are fucking dumb. They're dumb. Like they're blaming everybody, right? And they're trying to because they can't deal within themselves that they have a team full of fucking choke artists. Look, I'm not really throwing stones from any glass house. My franchise has been absolute dog shit. I'm hoping and praying it's a new day. Like that's all I can hope for. These dudes this is what they do. They choke. There was never a question about it. It was when was it going to happen? It happened 1 week earlier than I thought it would, but it was bound to happen.
Wait, do your picks reflect that?
Motherfucker, you got 1 week and you out here.
Oh, I am.
Short people got.
All right.
Oh yeah, fuck the Cowboys.
Let's go ahead and look at the wild card from last week.
They got short little legs and correct football picks. Dude named Ryan can suck my dick. Andy Newman.
All right. First game we had.
Andy Newman all of a sudden like a 1940s black dude right there.
He sounds kind of like.
You'd be able to say much more of that one word that he loves.
First game we had Cleveland and Houston. Yeah, I picked Houston. Only one to pick Houston.
I didn't pick either, so I wasn't wrong.
True. Weren't right either.
I would have picked. Fairness, I would have picked the Browns.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, CJ Stroud is him, and I don't see it stopping.
That defense is them. Like their reads were perfect. Those picks were knowing your personnel, knowing who you're playing against, and knowing exactly where that ball is going. It was
shout out D'Amico.
Masterclass. It was a masterclass. Remember when Houston was tanking? Lol. Okay.
Hey, Lovie Smith, man. If he doesn't, things could look different.
Yeah, he tried to scoot over to Texas, but he actually helped them out.
He helped them out like a motherfucker. They don't deserve any of this shit. The thing with Houston, it's the same thing I said before the game, right? I was picking Joe Flacco based on his playoff pedigree and how good he was playing up until that, and the Cleveland defense being legit. The thing with CJ Stroud and another quarterback that we're going to talk about in a bit is that they are breaking the entire paradigm shift. We are now in completely uncharted territory as far as what it is that you would say about a rookie quarterback in the playoffs, right? There are no rules anymore. This dude, like when I keep saying how much of an anomaly what we're seeing in Houston is, it's truly, there's nothing to base it off of. There's nothing you can go back in the history books and be like, all right, well, this predicates this. There's just nothing there. These motherfuckers are changing everything with what it is they're doing right now. So if you were to tell me that Houston's on their way to the Super Bowl, I couldn't say no to you. I might not pick them, but I don't have an argument.
Yeah. Understood. And Will Anderson's is fucking nice too. Let's not forget him.
That whole defense and that the whole team. Yeah. They have certain stars in certain areas, but other than that, they scheme and they find the right guys to do the right things at the right time for them. It's very much I'm very glad. Where did D'Amico Ryans come from again?
San Fran.
So glad we got their GM.
Oh,
Adam Peter.
Adam Peter.
The most impressive thing I think about that offense is you don't know what's coming. They'll run the same play 3 times and give you 3 completely different looks. CJ Stroud is so quick to get out of the pocket and just be wide the fuck open. Like, they'll be rushing 4. They'll be like this close to getting him, and now he's got 10 yards of space. That Dalton Schultz touchdown. Dalton Schultz is by no means a fast man. He is a large man, but he is not fast. And that corner stared at him. It was like, no way. And Dalton Schultz went, hey, I'm going to head fake you real quick. And I'm in the end zone for 50 whatever yards. Ridiculous. Yeah. CJ Stroud I love watching him play. I just love it.
Shout out to
for them.
Shout out to Bobby Slowick, also a alumni of the Washington Redskins 2013 team. And the
like,
as is every
and a candidate, right? For the heck
there. And a candidate. I actually just did an episode of Dish Divide today where Amit, my co-host, he picked his favorite candidate, and his favorite candidate was Bobby Slowick, and then I got to pick my favorite candidate.
Who was Ben Johnson of the 2013 Redskins?
Not Ben Johnson?
Not Ben Johnson.
Who's your favorite?
Raheem Morris.
Okay. Not mad at it. All right. Next game, we had Kansas City and Miami.
5-12 season incoming, no matter what.
Yeah, I was wrong about Miami.
God, you motherfuckers. Y'all don't win that game. Kansas City, baby.
Fuck.
Don't doubt Mahomes.
No, look.
Mahomes is him. He's cool, but fuck KC.
Watching Snead dog Tyreek Hill on that one play, and then Tyreek being like, hey, he pushed me all the way to kick.
He jammed me to camp.
That shit.
Tyreek Hill making fun of himself. Like, he's turning his viewpoint. Like, how
I used to not like Tyreek, but he is growing so slightly on me because, like, look, he's a freak athlete. We all know that. But him being able to eat a little bit of that humble pie and joke about it, I love that. You can't. Yeah, the Dolphins were frozen. Like, they didn't even want to block. Yeah. Like, they didn't want to block. That pass rush was non-existent because once you get jammed, the field is so slick, there's going to be no pass rush because they're just going to push your ass back.
That game could have been in Miami.
The game couldn't have been in Miami because they're ass. And so it was in Kansas City.
I think the thing about Kansas City, as much as Mahomes is that dude, always will be.
Yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco, my guy, love that dude. He's when the offense goes through him, there is not a angrier runner in the NFL than Isaiah Pacheco.
It looks like so. Have you ever played the Olympics game on the original Nintendo with the trackpad?
I've not.
Okay. So it didn't register real well, so you had to stomp really hard. It looks like he's constantly playing that game. It's like, dude, it is. Watching him run is not only impressive because he's breaking tackles, but it's also fucking hilarious. If you just took everybody else out and it was just a video of him running, I could laugh at that for hours.
The thing is, like, he runs, the way he runs, you expect him to fumble all the time, right? Like, there's just a matter of, like, just go down.
He looks like a cartoon.
He's ridiculous. But the most important aspect, I'm going to keep going back to this as I'm going back all season long, no matter, and all the distractors and everything, the Kansas City defense is legit.
All right. That's enough for KC. Let's move on to Dallas and Green Bay.
Jordan Love. Everything I just said about CJ Stroud in Houston, to a certain degree, I can say the same thing about Jordan Love. But what I will say overall is a huge difference when you have a quarterback willing to work with and trust his wide receivers to game. And Jordan Love has done that in spades. Also, Matt LaFleur remembering and realizing and finally having a healthy Aaron Jones to run that offense through to keep people honest. Like if I'm looking at both those teams, and I'll also look at Miami, there's a thing that's happening, and I wish Eric Bieniemy could watch this. because of how much the one particular aspect of Washington's offense that I fucking hated is how much it helps to keep your quarterback under center, especially when they're fucking young, early in drives or early in the down progression, and being able to truly play a play action game that gets people off their fucking feet, that you don't know what's coming or what's going on. You're seeing coaches do an absolutely great job with feeding their quarterbacks just enough, but also not putting training wheels on them. It's like truly helping these guys develop within their offenses, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, they don't even have AJ Dillon back yet because that two-headed monster is disgusting. But
and they use them.
The other thing is their wide receivers and their tight ends are the same size for the most part. There's one little guy, but like Dontavian Wicks is a stud. Romeo Doubs, stud. And they got a guy that's throwing absolute darts, like carving up that defense. Like the Dallas defense looked lost, and that's final score. We all watched the game, was not indicative of how far out of reach that game was in the fourth.
Right. Agreed.
Like there was some soft coverage, giving them dinks and dunks down the field. But it was never after the first quarter or the first half was it 27-7. It's never close. It was never close.
Yep.
And that's a true. The Green Bay defense has some holes, definitely in their secondary, but man, they're playing pretty well to hold down a team that scored 38 points at home all season. They scored most of their points in garbage time. So,
Jair Alexander, I'm saying I got a whole lot of nice to say about you, but I'll apologize for the bad I did say.
Didn't he? Did he get hurt again though?
I think he suffered a knock in the game.
Yeah, because he was hurt before the game. He's questionable.
Yeah,
I hope he plays.
Yeah, nice little interception too.
It was a hell of a pick. Good pick.
I said he was good, but all right. We had Detroit and the Rams. Ryan, you got that one spot on.
They are who we thought they were. I basically just did it for the story, to be honest. I knew it was gonna be a close game. But the Rams got fucking hammered all game. I don't know how Matt Stafford came back in that game. I
know he looked like he was knocked out for a second.
Yeah, I think it was just because so he got stepped on, he got cleated in the shoulder, and I think that eye roll back was just like fuck. I have no idea how he got cleared. But like Nakua's still like it was such a game of like two different stories, like two elite wide receivers and Sun God and Puka. Puka shot
Nakua.
Yeah, 183 yards and a Amon-Ra St. Brown had 130, something absurd. Sam Laporta coming back, crazy. Had a pretty good game. That kid can block.
Yep.
And Jahmyr Gibbs is a freak. Like it was two teams. Yeah, it was two teams that are just really good. It was the only close game of those couple days. And look, I just wanted Lions to win for Lions fans. LA just had a Super Bowl. So
fair enough.
I just was trying to will it into existence. I think they're gonna have a tough go of it though this coming week.
I just thought Sean McVay will be able to scheme them into the victory.
He got close.
It was a close game. It was the best. It was by far the best game this weekend, right? And I think that my biggest takeaway from the game was I can't remember a time that I was rooting so hard for both teams. Sure. I can't. I don't remember watching a football game where I didn't have like some sort of rooting interest for one team over the other team, where I was looking at them like, God, I'd love Matt Stafford to get a win in that building. But then I'm also looking at the fans like, God damn, the Detroit fan. I love that stadium for some reason. I've always been really, really, I love that stadium. And the fans, I didn't love them booing Stafford, but I know that was only a small contingent of them that were doing that. But it's like, they deserve, I mean, if there's any fan base that kind of deserves it, and you look at Dan Campbell outside of that dirty fucking play. Yeah. It was dope. That was a lot of fun. It's the most fun I had watching football this weekend. Oh, no, take it back. Watching the Cowboys lose is the most fun I had.
So I kind of want the Lions to win it this year out of all the teams left. And then outside of them, Houston.
Yeah, the 2 underdogs.
Go fuck yourself, but okay.
All right, next game. Ryan, keep that same energy for K-Dot because he's the only one that picked the Steelers to beat.
He knows why I picked them. Everybody knows why I picked them.
Why?
It's like I said on the pod last week, there were 2 outcomes of this game. It was either going to be close going into the fourth quarter, third quarter, and I would feel really good about the prophecy. The prophecy was, as every year, the Buffalo Bills have been exiting the playoffs 1 round earlier. It's the only reason I stuck to it. But I also have been saying, and Ryan's heard me say it, everyone's heard me say it, that on any given Sunday, there is no team that can whoop any other team's ass more than the Buffalo Bills. There just isn't. When they're playing correctly, when Josh Allen's moving the ball and ain't fumbling all over the fucking place, we ain't throwing stupid fucking passes, and when they rely on James Cook the way they need to rely on James Cook, that defense takes care of shit on our own. Is there a team they can't beat? No.
And is there a team that they can't lose to?
Right. No. Is there a team that Josh Allen can't lose to? No. He could. Tell him. So that was just the energy. But yeah, I did not under any circumstances pick Pittsburgh because I thought that they were even on the same wavelength as what the Buffalo Bills were. I just thought Josh Allen would fuck it up, and he didn't. So I'm sorry, and I was wrong.
Ryan, thoughts?
Go Bills.
All right. Next game, we had Tampa Bay and the Eagles.
Do you remember?
This was the easiest game to call by the time that came out.
Me and Keem got it wrong. Well, we didn't change our picks from.
Oh, you picked the team that went 1-6 going down the.
I thought AJ Brown would be there.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
So I think, did we do the podcast before or after I said this last week? Was the so this is the game that I went the most back and forth on until I saw one thing happen last week that completely solidified it for me. And it was the Kelsey Brothers' podcast. When Travis was making fun of Jason about what happened in week 18, and Jason had to cut the podcast off. They had to stop recording and come back the next day. That to me was, I didn't care if AJ Brown came back. I didn't give a fuck about anything. That was it. That was it. This team is lost. They're just lost. They're not there. They're not there, and they're emotional about it. So you have some veterans on the team that can't do anything about what's happening. So they lost the moment they came out the fucking tunnel. They lost days before that. There was no chance they had winning that fucking game. And you saw it on the field in every fucking play. One team gave a shit. The other team knew that they were going to lose. They just
That's what happens when you lose both coordinators.
It's one part of it, yeah. That is absolutely one part of it.
It's not even that.
Really?
Hurts. Well, it's part of that, but Hurts was overthrowing or underthrowing, or the receivers weren't running the right routes. Do you see Dallas Goedert?
Needed it, OC.
Fucking yelling at him at the end of the game. This is Dallas Goedert yelling at Jalen.
Yeah, 21 yards. I need him to get 25.
He didn't care, but
I know.
Maybe that was the problem. It was also Baker.
Respect the Baker
guy.
Get your weight up,
my guy.
Remember from the beginning of the season. Get your weight up as he trucks somebody. Yeah. That was a guy. This guy's been kicked around the league. Who's finally is his second playoff win with 2 different teams.
Mm-hmm. I've never wavered.
I like this Baker Mayfield.
That's true.
I loved Baker.
Give you props there. And I think he has more playoff victories than the Cleveland Browns.
And the same amount of wins as Dak Prescott.
My guy.
All right.
He's got the same amount of playoff wins as Dak Prescott.
We got 4 games.
Fuck the Cowboys
this weekend. 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday.
Ooh, do we know?
First game in Baltimore. Texans versus the Ravens. Who y'all got?
I got to remember that they're playing here, so I got to stay the fuck away from downtown.
Yep. I mean, I can go first.
Yeah, go.
All right. So last week, the only reservation I had was the Cleveland Browns defense, but I still went with the Texans. Same thing here, but they do have Lamar on one side, but I'm still going Texans.
I do not blame you.
I am going the Ravens. These two teams played earlier this season. I don't think you can really look at that towards anything that's going to happen in this game. Mike McDonald has had a recipe for every good offense unit and quarterback that's come through.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to believe in that. Also, from a rooting interest standpoint, I have a lot of narratives in my head about the way that we're overvaluing quarterback position. I don't want CJ Stroud and this success to be the blueprint for everyone because I think it'll set the football back for a decade. I also, just from a rooting interest standpoint, Baltimore's safer when they're winning. And Lamar Jackson, I need a Super Bowl berth from him to start shutting people the fuck up. I need that. I need Lamar to be able to tell everybody to get the fuck off my dick. I'm Lamar Jackson, motherfuckers.
Or get on it.
Oh, because he showed up the year after, right?
Yeah,
he got drafted the year after.
Yeah, for what?
Flacco.
Their Super Bowl berth versus the 49ers.
Oh, yeah, that's a year or two after.
Year after.
Yeah, because they drafted late. They moved up and it was late.
I know
12? No, it's after that. It's like a few years after that.
I'm going to switch this in my head about 15 times before the game. But I'm going to go Texans.
Okay.
For my own benefit, I hope I am wrong. Because I would really, really like an AFC championship in Baltimore.
That would be nice. Especially since we're all going.
Oh, shit. I forgot he said that.
I didn't.
Are you truly talking about bringing the entire ASOS crew to the game?
And Danny.
I'd love you forever, man. That would be a good ass.
I already love you forever, but yeah.
No, I love you forever. Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, like, that would be a moment.
Yeah, no, it would be.
Wait, who?
I'll drive. I'll drive down there. Y'all can we'll listen to Randy Newman the whole time.
You're uninvited.
Yeah, I ain't doing that shit. All right.
Sure, people get.
Next game, we got the Packers and 49ers.
I'll go first. Niners.
Yeah, I'll go second. Also Niners.
Third, also Niners.
Yeah.
I mean, Packers are gonna win. It's
been a really fun story. Jordan Love, that offense. I think it'll be closer than we think. But it's not gonna be that close.
I do think if I had to put money on it, which I won't be, I'm not going hard with the betting this week, at least not in these two games, just because of what happened last week with me on my playoff bets. So I'm just taking a breather. But if I had to put a gun in my head, I've got Baltimore and San Francisco winning by more than a touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, like 10 points. But... I'd say 10 points. Well, I know you guys don't agree. You both picked the Texans. So but I just think, I think these two teams are just better. There's a reason they had a bye.
Facts. Understood.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay and Detroit.
Baker, lose to Detroit.
Yep.
How do you think the Tampa Bay Bucks are going to deal with the freezing cold temperatures in Detroit?
Well, Ryan, as for the last 50 years, I will say I gotta give props to he handled that so classy like.
Yeah, he could have embarrassed her. What the fuck are you talking about? I, however, am going to disagree with you. I don't think the Baker train stops here.
I'm rooting for Baker.
I think the Baker train rolls on. I think Mike Evans has a massive game against a terrible secondary.
I'd love to see that.
I think that a lot of this game will be on the ground. And then Baker. Give me the Bucks.
I am actively rooting for Tampa Bay.
I can't do it because of my friend.
That's, you know what? You're it's kind of like you know how some people just pick teams because they like the jersey color. I feel like I feel like a lot of your picks are like, oh, I feel like I like this one. But okay, if it's because you're a friend, that's great. I'm not saying that's a good way to guess, but it's not a bad.
No. I'm not rooting for Tampa Bay because of that reason. That's completely separate from who I think will win the game.
Oh,
we don't think you're telling the truth, but yeah,
no, that is.
We understand. We just don't.
I think the way that
we think you make your picks with your heart.
No, only with the fucking Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos. That's it.
A lot of teams.
Of course, I pick us all the time.
It's 10% of the league.
It is.
Suck a dick. I don't care.
That's more than 10% of the league.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's 10%. I can't do math. Shut the fuck up. Got a counting down here agreeing.
Sure, people got no math skills. Sure.
I want to move on. All right.
Who are you picking? Who are you picking?
I'm picking the Lions.
Okay.
Because of how they're playing offense, and I think they may
they got lots of numbers and a calculator.
I don't know what they're gonna do in San Francisco. I'll say that for sure. But I want them to get to the Super Bowl. That's all. All right.
So see.
Last game we got. Last game we got is the Chiefs and Bills. And I'll go first and say that I have the Bills winning this. Kansas City going to Buffalo. I know they just played in a negative degree game, whatever.
Yeah, but this our first one at home in the playoffs against them in a
first Mahomes road playoff game ever.
Bust they ass. Look, it's gonna be like, the Spirit Bomb. We're all gonna send you our energy to y'all. Please win this game.
Go Bills.
I am picking the Kansas City Chiefs, which doesn't matter. But I will say it doesn't matter. But look, there used to be a philosophy I had where I never bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. Like I refused to.
Yeah,
Mahomes did the same thing. I like if you want to know
that decision.
When you want to know every single pick, if you see the Chiefs in the playoffs, no, I'm picking until they prove me otherwise.
They're gonna prove it this week.
Maybe. I mean, this is the thing. What Mahomes and Allen are what they got a 3-3 record, I think. Like this would be the deciding thing. But in the playoffs, Mahomes is 2-0. Joe Burrow also beats fucking Josh Allen. Like to me, this game has the same thing that everybody's talking about when it came to the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, and all that kind of shit, right? Is the same thing that can be applied to Sean McDermott and these Buffalo Bills. So part of me doesn't think that it would be a grand overreaction if they said, fuck this, we're going with somebody else. Just because I honestly think that maybe somebody needs to be able to put a swift kick in Josh Allen's ass. And I like the idea of Bill Belichick staying in the AFC East, just kind of selfishly. But this is
Belichick is your coach.
I don't think it would happen.
Hey,
stick it to the Patriots twice a year. Got an already built roster. Quarterback just needs to be denigrated and yelled at a little bit.
I think I saw news that Harbaugh was interviewing with the Falcons again next week.
Yeah, Belichick just did his second interview.
Yeah, so
I think Bill's going to Atlanta, but
I think so too, but
yeah, because Kirk Cousins.
Hey, man.
I'm telling you right now, if Kirk Cousins and Bill Belichick go in Atlanta, I give them 2 years before they're in a Super Bowl. Within 2 years, they will be in a Super Bowl.
Not in a Super Bowl, but
I'm calling it.
ATM.
All right. Final thoughts.
That division's trash. I will. Randy Newton's underrated. Number one. Number two.
Let me go. All right, because I was
number
like,
two.
Do that. I'm
done with the Randy Newman stuff. They got enough of it this episode. I got Ryan to sing Randy Newman. I'm straight. So beyond that, I was able to see another movie yesterday, called The Zone of Interest by Jonathan Glazer.
Jay Glazer?
Yeah. Shut Jesus fucking Christ.
Black people get. I'm sorry.
Anybody can get it.
Raiders fans got no reason to live. So
yeah, we do.
Antonio Pierce, you better
God
stay there.
Damn it. Fucking finisher.
All right, okay. Zone of Interest, which was a hell of a movie.
I'm losing interest.
It was a very, very, very fucked up film. I adored watching it, even though it's one I probably won't ever watch again. The basis of the movie is this is about the chief commanding officer of Auschwitz concentration camp, and he and his family living in a house right next to Auschwitz, living their normal life as all these horrific, terrible things are happening right next to them. Hell of a fucking watch. Disturbing as all fucking get out. A movie that doesn't really show you a whole lot, but the use of sound design in this fucking thing is haunting. I haven't stopped thinking about it since I watched it. Yeah, but I highly recommend it. It's an artsy movie to a certain degree. And I wish I remember the lead actress's name, who also was in a wonderful movie from last year, also called Anatomy of a Fall, which is also a great, great French movie. Yeah, I'd say it's well worth watching, even if it's not the most enjoyable of watches. It's a movie that I'm very glad got made. And when they were making the movie, a lot of times what you hear an actor say is that even if they're playing someone evil, they try to find some sort of level of empathy or try to understand where that person's coming from. And all the actors in this movie said, absolutely not. We had no empathy. We thought all these people were fucking evil pieces of shit. And it was almost cathartic to see the way they played them kind of unapologetically evil.
Yep. Nah.
It'll be nominated for some Academy Awards. You'll hear about it.
I forget which soccer team it is. One of the soccer teams in Germany plays right next to a concentration camp.
Oh, wow.
Stuttgart?
Really?
I can't remember.
Have you guys ever been to one of them? I've never gone.
To what?
Yes.
Like the Holocaust Museum, I still remember going in 4th or 5th grade, and that fucked me up pretty good. I cried like a little bitch the entire time.
Been to Auschwitz and Dachau.
I feel like I still need to go. I need to see them.
It's so it's not like an American museum.
I can't imagine it's not like most museums. It's a little different.
It's yeah. It's more. Have you ever toured a castle?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. They're not like, well, here's our 1940s oven. It's like to walk through it yourself. Most of it's been torn down. They did a lot of that in the 40s. And they didn't rebuild for obvious reasons. I mean, it's kind of eerie, but it's nothing like, I guess you learn a little bit, but nothing you didn't really already know. So
nothing, just feeling that you feel a connection.
The tour of I think it's Dachau, has like the houses of like the generals and stuff that are pretty much completely preserved because they just killed themselves. That's kind of cool.
Brian, your go, because I'm not getting into that.
Short people. No.
Brandon Newman makes it all better.
I only have 2 words. Go Bills.
All right. My final thought is this. My final thought is this. On Sunday, it is my third anniversary with my wife.
Congratulations.
No.
And
yeah. She's a real one. She's a real one. So gonna do a big
blast. Cheers.
Cheers. We're gonna do it big for her, and then I'll see her on Valentine's Day.
Is she going she going home for a little bit?
Yeah, with the fam.
That's sick. It's fucking cold down there, huh?
I mean, not compared to here, but
when is she leaving?
Fucking Dallas was like
Tuesday.
15 degrees.
It's your anniversary Sunday?
Yeah.
Good timing.
James got a lot of fucking to do.
do. All right, number one, you're not gonna step on this shit with some fucking Randy Newman. Fuck out of here. All right. That's one.
Randy Newman was all about the love.
2.
Remember the Toy Story song? You've got a friend.
He ain't make no shit for a wife. All right. So
I'm sure he did. I'm sure if you go through his discography, he definitely has something.
I ain't looking at that dude. But yeah, shout out to my wife. And I'll eventually post wedding pictures.
I saw the one you
I know, fam. Look, I was drunk.
Overwhelming.
Huh?
Is it too many photos? Like,
yeah, a few thousand.
And
usually happens.
And yeah, you posted the one, and then like I had to like go scrolling to find it. Like that was your last photo for like 2 years.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, because I don't really post shit no more.
Nobody.
I should, but I will eventually.
I got a big post by Randy Newman coming.
And I got my second ever ticket.
Speeding?
Yeah. That shit is expensive.
Second ever?
Yeah.
I have no speeding.
I always look out.
You always put on white face paint before you leave the house? What?
No. I got tinted windows. You can't really see in.
Nigga, even more reason. What is happening?
Yeah,
you know what cars I drove, fam?
Wait. Sorry,
you can see me.
Teenager. He drove the car.
He drew. Yeah, you ain't getting out of that.
Motherfucker, I'm down with the people. All right, we don't speak English around these fucking plots. I wasn't driving around in motherfucking lawyers' cars and shit with Rolexes and shit like fucking Ric Flair and shit. All right,
James. All right, can I tell you a secret? you can see white people through tinted windows. We glow. So if they can't see you, they pulling you over anyway, bro.
No, the moment I put a 10 on my car, woo! Like, goddamn.
Well, you live in Baltimore. They're
I also drove an 87 Delta 88.
Ain't no way I'm fishbowling. Nah, bro.
Hey, they're making an assumption based on your vehicle and location, K-Dot.
Oh my God, it's an Audi. I think he's fine.
Nah, I got pulled over once in that joint.
I'm sure you did.
It was my fault. And this time I got a letter. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, you got camera?
Yeah, that shit is expensive.
Dude, fucking fight it. They're unconstitutional, but we can talk about that.
Before we head out, I just want to, I do have a bit every time I get pulled over. I don't know if I ever told you guys about this. I have a playlist on my phone for getting pulled over. And anytime I get pulled over, the number one song I play, the first one on the playlist I play are the Bee Gees' Nights on Broadway. Because no one can ever think I'm up to anything if I'm rocking the Bee Gees' Night on Broadway. I suggested for every black man driving around these parts, unless you're James, you're driving expensive cars, no one gives a shit because he's out of touch. The idea would be make sure you're and learn the lyrics. Learn the lyrics. When they get up to the window, you got to be humming to the Bee Gees. And it was like, oh.
Have a corduroy sweater in your passenger seat to slip on.
Slip on. Sir. I'm just no Bee Gees.
What's the name of it?
Nights on Broadway.
Nights on Broadway. It's also it's also a great song. I'm
gonna listen to it after this.
Straight to the heart song.
Yeah.
Well, that's on Broadway. Peace, everybody. Listen to some Randy Newman and Bee Gees.
No.
And make love.
I won't be surprised if the Ravens win. I'll say that. But yeah, I don't think this gonna happen.
Try to cover your ass.
Right. Yep. Sure did. My Skip Bayless.
All right. Bye, everybody. Peace.
Love.